Allo, Viva, I'm the Mademoiselle, and ça se deuxième Chanel way. Oh my god, my hair is sticking up in all these different places. Hold up. Them fixer. Do y'all look better? It doesn't matter. That's not the point. You guys clicked on here for a Voodoo story, and I'm here to give it to you. I know you guys feel like I'm spoiling y'all with the stories and the sit downs, but it seems like that's what you guys want according to the views and the new subscribers. So, hey, that's what we gonna give y'all. Y'all want the sit downs, the stories, the crick crack. So here we are. We on the road to 100K. I want another plaque by the end of the year. So on Yvana, like, if I don't get 100K by the end of the year, I'm gonna be very upset, okay? In the beginning of 2025, y'all gonna see me on a hiatus. I'm gonna be very, very mad, all right? So before we get into this video, if you are in the New Jersey area, okay, if you're in the tri-state, please make sure you get a ticket to my speed networking event. It's going to be my business's second one. Your food is included with the ticket, and there will be a cash bar. It's gonna be lit. You get to network with local professionals. I guarantee you, you will not regret it. I can't wait to meet some of you guys at this event. So let's get straight into the story. So this story actually takes place in Okap, Haiti. Shout out to those of you guys who are from Okap, from Mimsot Okabare. And if you guys don't know anything about Okap, Okap got a lot of voodoo activity. Now it's funny because I didn't really know that until I started meeting more people from Okap. And if you guys are also not aware, a majority of the Haitian Revolution also took place in Okap. So that's probably why a lot of voodoo activity takes place there. So I've talked about Lougawous and stuff on my channel before. Hopefully I remember to link those videos down below. If for whatever reason you don't find that video, or I do forget to link down that video or any video related to that, just make sure you type down Chronicles of a Zo, Lougawou, you will find those videos. So this video is going to be regarding not walking around at night in Haiti. That's also something I talked about in my videos, but people think that that's something to be taken lightly, okay? When I first made that video, there were people that were like, oh, well, you shouldn't walk around anywhere at night. No, not walking around in Haiti at night is like very, very serious. Like, you really shouldn't do it. Like, it could genuinely cost you your life. And it's not because someone's gonna rob you or kill you, but honestly, given the current state of Haiti, that might be possible. But because the nighttime is for the spirit. When the sun sets, that is demon times. Like, not demon time, but that is spirit time. That is the time for them to roam around. That is the time for them to do what they gotta do. That is the time for the deceased, the ancestors, and so on and so forth. So humans just should not be out and about. You're supposed to stay to your laku, your property, whatever the case may be. If you're going to the club and stuff like that, that's a little bit different, but you still should be way more careful. You should make sure you have a car and you're going from A to B, and you should still have certain types of protection. Whatever spirits it is that you walk with, or whatever case it is, make sure they with you. You have rites of passage. Like, y'all, there's so much that goes into it. So with this particular story, we're going to be talking about a guy. All right, now I'm going to mix up the details per usual because I don't want to give anyone's information out there. The story was told to me a few years ago. We're going to be talking about a guy who genuinely thought that the rules were not for him, and he just did not heed his parents' warnings, okay? He liked to go out all times of the night, sneaking out, doing God knows what, okay? From clubbing to going to girls' houses to just literally bobo-shing out in the street. And his parents would always tell him, like, listen, do not go outside at night. Like, I understand you want to go party, you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to go to your friends' houses and stuff, but going out at night, especially where we live at, is just like not safe, you know? Like, something really bad could happen to you. And he genuinely did not care to listen, because, like, specifically he had a girlfriend that he liked seeing at night. You already know people like doing their grown business, and this boy in particular, he had to be like late teen, so I'll say like 19, 20. So we already know those kids do not listen. I will say I can't stand kids when they're that age. Now I'm 29, so I don't know if that classifies calling someone a kid by that age, but I will say I'm way growner than a 19-year-old, but I mean, they're still considered an adult. But I will say, like, kids when they hit that age from like 16 to 22 get on my goddamn nerves, like, because they just don't listen. They're very hard-headed. They think they know everything, and they're just genuinely not gonna listen to you. And this kid was no different, all right? He wanted to go see his girlfriend. He was constantly clubbing, and on top of that, he was a drunkard, okay? He loved to drink, he loved to smoke, and from what I heard, he would do other substances substances and stuff, but I wasn't clear on what the substances were, and he would gamble. So he was doing all of this shit, and he was only like 19, 20. So his parents were really worried for him, and they were always, you know, going off on him like, yo, you can't be doing all of this stuff, and then on top of that, you can't be going out at night. And he would just blow them off like, oh, quite me lim, oh, I'm gonna do what I want. He was very disrespectful to his parents. So of course, people in the neighborhood would tell him too, like, listen, like you cannot keep doing all these things, and then you're going out at night. So one of the really close neighbors who watched him grow up and stuff would try to really like reel him in and talk to him as well, especially because the parents would always tell this neighbor about the grievances. So we're gonna call the neighbor, we're gonna call her Priscilla. I don't know, that was just the name that came to mind. Priscilla would always be like, you know, they're just trying to watch out for you and look out for you because, you know, no good could come from you just walking around at nighttime, and, you know, you're always smoking, you're always drinking, and, you know, the girl that you're with, that's another thing. The girl that he was with was also not that good of a person either. So it's like, you know, the girl that you're with, like, she's not that good of a person either. So, you know, they're only trying to look out for you. So, you know, she would sit there and she would, you know, like try to reinforce what the parents said. And of course, he just did not care. And what's even crazier about this is this boy, which, oh my God, we didn't name him. Let's give him a name. We're gonna call him Richard. So Richard, he just genuinely was just like all over the place. So not only was he a drunkard, not only was he smoking, not only was he doing things he wasn't supposed to do, but he was always getting into issues because of it, okay? He was getting into fights at these parties. He was always getting his ass beat on the street because he was rude and always popping out the mouth. Like, so it's just like, it's not like one of those things where he just wanted to have fun. Like, the man was always getting into some shit. So people kept warning him like, bro, like you need to turn your life around. So, you know, Priscilla would always try to be like, listen, like, you know, you need to get your life together. You know, people are only trying to look out for you. And eventually Richard got really upset and he snapped on her like, oh, what do you know? Like, like, you just an old lady that lived next door. Now, this is the thing. As y'all could tell, Richard's very, very disrespectful. Now, Priscilla is an older lady, lives next door. I believe her husband died, all her kids died. Nobody really knows the circumstances of that. Hold on to that piece of information. So basically, he just snapped on her like, yo, what do you know? Like, you're just an old lady that lives next door. Don't nobody like care about what you have to say. I'm young, I'ma live my life, I'ma do what I want. That day where he said that, he went off about his business to go flun in the night, go club, go party, go whatever. So that day, earlier, the next day coming in, so he would usually come in like in the break of dawn of the next morning. So say if he would leave at like 7 p.m., he would come back next morning like 4 or 5 a.m. type shit. So that morning, it was still dark. So I guess it was one of those times, like, y'all know how like there's like a time where it's like still very, very dark, but it's early morning. It was one of those times. He's coming in and he sees like a fleet of cats, like a bunch of cats. Now, if y'all don't know anything about cats in Haiti, Haitians hate cats. That's why when most Haitians see I have a cat, they're like, oh my God, Lougawou, like, oh my God, like that cat's a demon, that cat's a this, it's a shapeshifter, because they're like, Haitians and cats do not have a good reputation because most of the time the cats are killing babies. They have spirits in them, all types of shit. Okay, so cats and Haitians do not mix. So basically he sees a fleet of cats, okay, not just one, like literally like 6, 7 cats. And the cats are like kind of like following him, like they're kind of like running around his feet, and he's just trying to like kick the cats. He's like, what the fuck? Like, get away from me type shit. And he's like, why these cats bothering me? And one of the cats like seemed like they were talking to him, and they're like, Alakayo, like literally like, go home, go home. And he's like, what? He's like, go home. Did I hear that cat talk? But mind y'all, what did I say? The man does drugs, the man drinks, he be tired, he be out here partying, he be out here getting knocked the fuck out. So he's just like, I'm literally hearing things. So mind you, can you imagine thinking you heard a cat talk? Now, if you guys ever be on TikTok or you hear mystical stories, Haitian voodoo stories, hearing cats talk is very normal. You're not gonna hear it in the US. I feel like I have a story about someone hearing a cat talk in the United States, to be quite honest with you, but I can't vividly remember it right now. It'll probably come back to me after I'm done filming this. But in Haiti, it's very common, okay? So literally, he's just like, ain't no way I fucking heard this cat say Alakayu. So he's like, nah, ain't no way. So he shrugs it off and he goes into the house. So he goes and he tells his parents like, and his parents is like, what? Like, what are you even talking about? Like, like, oh, it's because you always smoke, you always drinking, now you thinking you hearing cats talking to you and all this goofy shit. So like, he's like, whatever. So now they get into an argument because he was out all night and clearly he's hallucinating. So he goes to sleep, you know, he doesn't think anything of it. So next day he sees Priscilla, and Priscilla is just, you know, kind of looking at him because like clearly he just cursed her out the day before. So I guess, you know, she's kind of like, she don't know how to approach him. She's just kind of looking like this. She's kind of like, you know, like just looking, and he's like, oh, come on, yeah, like mal want type shit, like, oh, come on, yeah, like, type shit. And I'm just like, first of all, when my friend was telling me the story, I was like, so he ain't apologized to her for basically saying that she's an old lady that didn't know nothing. It's basically, I guess he was just I guess, you know, he was embarrassed because he basically went off on her. But I guess he tried to act like nothing happened. He was like, oh, how are you? Whatever. Basically, she looked at him and she was like, oh, how did you sleep after you came in last night around 5 a.m.? Like, she said something very specific to the tune where she knew that he went out, knew about the time that he came back in. I don't remember verbatim what it was that she said, but something that she said triggered him to the point where it was like, how the fuck did you know? Like, how I got home, or that I went home, or that I even went out. Yeah, when he went off on her the day prior, like, he went out, but like, it's not one of those things where he was out every single day. Like, yeah, he was out repeatedly, like kind of like 3, 4, 5 times a week type shit, but it wasn't every single day. And it was like, kind of like, okay, that's weird as fuck. And how did you, like, it was weird. No, so it clicked in his head, but it didn't like go 2 and 2 together a little bit. It was just like, oh, so it caught him off guard. He was like, oh, I got home okay. Why do you ask? He's like, oh, I don't know. I'm just making sure, you know, you got home okay. And then, you know, she just walks away. So let's get a little bit into Priscilla, okay? So Priscilla had 3 kids, a husband, but all her kids died very, very young, under very suspicious circumstances. Sickness, fever, I think one drowned, something like that. And her husband allegedly died very violently. If I'm not mistaken, they either said a car accident or, yeah, it was a car accident or something like that. So for as long as anyone can remember, she's lived in the village, and she's just been alone. So Priscilla ends up coming to Richard's house to tell Richard and parents that she's going to be coming to America for a few months because she has a visa, and you know, she's gonna be visiting some family members and stuff like that. And apparently she wants them to, you know, watch over her plants, you know, water them, stuff like that. Obviously, y'all, that wasn't true. She wanted to tell niggas that she was gonna be out. She was gonna be out in America on a visa so she could do her Lougawou shit, okay? There was no visa, there was no trip, all right? And it's funny because that is just like, what the fuck? I don't know where the hell she was staying this whole entire time, all right? I don't know how she hid herself, but she did, probably as a cat. So by suspicious circumstances, we are also going to visit that a little bit later. So per usual, Richard proceeds to go out again. Now this is a little bit later, like maybe like 2 days later. So at this point, he's going to a birthday party, and he's not by himself. This time he's with a friend, and I believe he's with a girl. They go to this birthday party, and all is well, except they get lost. Now this doesn't really make sense because this birthday party is like fairly close, and they actually decided to leave a little bit early. Like, this is not like one of those all-nighter party situations, because usually that's what Richard does. Like, he'll do the situation where like he'll just tour the Okap area. Like, he'll go to the party, then he'll go to the club, then he'll go to the friend house, then he'll like, no, he didn't do that. He actually kind of just like went to the party and came back home. So he could have been coming home around like 2 a.m. type shit. So literally him, the friend, and the girlfriend leave the party, but they can't seem to find their way back home. And by back home, I mean Richard's house. They are trying to come back home, and when I'm telling you the houses are close, I'm talking about like to the point where it can't be more than like a mile walk. Like, it's a fairly short walk, and it should be like fairly quickly, but they're lost. Like, they're going in circles and circles and circles and circles, and he is the only one that's semi-sober. Like, yes, they all drink, but the friend and the girlfriend are lit as fuck. Okay, they're drunk as hell, but Richard is the only one that's semi-sober. Like, he drank, but he's coherent. So they're walking around in circles. They're doing all of this shit trying to find where they're going. And at this point, Richard starts getting a little uneasy. He's just like, what the fuck is going on? Now, if you guys don't know anything about a spiritual haze, it's one of the worst things you could ever be in, because you genuinely don't understand what the fuck is going on. Like, you literally feel like the world is closing in on you. Like, it's a different type of anxious. Like, if any of you guys have anxiety, you know what anxiety feels like. Like, literally, imagine being anxious times 3. You can't breathe. Like, you don't know what's going on. Like, literally, that's exactly how being in a mental haze feels like. It's like you don't know where you are, you don't know who you are, and you don't know where you're going. So these idiots, okay, they're walking around trying to figure out where the fuck they're going. And of course, we see a cat. This time, it's not a bunch of cats, it's just one cat. Now, this cat doesn't look like any ordinary cat. It is like a bigger cat, and it has like glowy eyes, like kind of like a yellow, like a very bright yellow eye. And comes to Richard, and it's like, "What do I like you?" Like, like really, really fast, like, but it kind of sounds like a meow type shit. So it's like type shit, like Richard's like, I did not drink that much. Ain't no fucking way this cat is talking to me. So of course the girlfriend and the friend who did drink too much, they are laughing hysterically. They are like, oh my God, this is the funniest shit ever. Like they are laughing. They're like, oh my God, ala shat kapale. Oh my God, the cat is talking. The cat is talking. They're of no help. They're of no service. Richard is freaking the fuck out. So the cat's like looking at him like, and it's repeating itself. Like just talking. He wants to run, but he can't leave his friends. He's afraid that if he runs, the cat's gonna take up after him. So he's just sitting there like, what the fuck do I do? So now at this point, the two idiot friends are like, after like laughing and doing all that bullshit, laughing like this shit's hysterical, they go mute, dark. Like literally from laughing, they go statue. Like they go from to, when I heard this part of the story, I was like, ain't no fucking way. I was like, you know what? See, and this is why you listen to your parents. Better yet, this is why you listen to people when they say stay in the fucking house and don't go out at night. After all of this mess, so while all of this is happening, now the cat runs off, okay? So now he's trying to shake the friend, he's trying to shake the girlfriend, like, yo, like, on Ali, like, let's go, let's go, let's go. Now a spirit just pulls up on him, but it's not a spirit, obviously, it's someone as a spirit. I don't know who the spirit was. I can't tell y'all if it was a Baron Samedi. I can't tell y'all if it was a Papa Legba. I can't tell you if it was Ogu. I can't tell you who the hell it was, okay? I don't remember, all right? The story was told to me a couple years ago, but one of these spirits came up to him. It was like, Pukisaola, like literally. And it was an old man, okay? Old man came up to him and was like, oh, Pukisaola. Ubakone, I swear I say Puispui. Like literally, like, why are you here? Don't you know the nighttime is for the spirits? And he was shitting his pants. Like literally the man peed himself, bro. Could not speak, okay? He started trembling. He ain't know what to do. He ain't know what to say. He said, I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to get home. Don't even ask me what happened to the friend and what happened to the girlfriend. Some way, somehow, they managed to get home. Some way, somehow, Richard ended up running, okay? Skeeting to his fucking house. And yeah, for the most part, he ended up becoming a scholar after that. And I think he actually ended up moving to like France or something. But nonetheless, another story about why you should stay your ass home. Oh, I forgot. A month or two later, okay, Priscilla comes to the house, you know, asking Richard and the parents, you know, how they were after her trip and stuff like that, you know, how they've been holding up, how's her plants and stuff like that. And she goes to Richard and she specifically asks, like, oh, how was the birthday party that you went to? How'd everything go? How's such and such? Mind you, she didn't know about the birthday party. She wasn't there. Remember, she went to America. Priscilla was the cat. Priscilla was the cat. There was no trip. Priscilla was the cat, y'all. Priscilla was the Lougawou. Yep, ladies and gentlemen, Priscilla was the Lougawou. Priscilla was the one talking about some, don't you know that you're not supposed to be out here in the nighttime? Didn't I tell you to go home? Yeah, that was Priscilla. The whole time it was Priscilla. Priscilla and her little friends, Priscilla sending the spirits, all of that shit. It's crazy to me because that is like a very common story of people living next to Lougawou, people being married to Lougawou, people's parents being Lougawous and they ain't know nothing about it, okay? It's actually really crazy. It happens very often, even here in the States. With that being said, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, and do all that. Make sure you guys get tickets for my speed networking event. Everything you need is going to be linked down below. And I'm gonna see y'all next time. Bye!